Hi, this is Rob from dmbalmanac.com with This Week in Dave Matthews Band History. And this weekend, of course, is Labor Day, which means 3 shows at the Gorge. This weekend marks the 74th to 76th shows at the Gorge since DMB's first gig there as part of the Horde Tour in 1996. The first Labor Day weekend at the Gorge was 2004, and they came back for Labor Day in 2006 and have only missed 2 since, marking 19 total Labor Day weekends at the Gorge for DMB. A little bit more trivia, the last time DMB played Labor Day itself was September 5th, 2005 at the Woodlands, Texas. You can find all the trivia answers at dmbalmanac.com, and we never stop looking for information on older shows. Follow us on Facebook and Threads to get daily updates with everything that happened that day in the band's history.
Have you ever stopped to think about the fans behind a band? What is it about the music that keeps fans coming back for more? Or is there more? My name is Renae Lipsmeyer, and I am the host of this podcast, The Space Between Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the fans of the Dave Matthews Band. Each week, a fellow DMB fan joins the show to discuss their journey with the band. Welcome to The Space Between Podcast. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Space Between Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the fans of a band that's been making music for over 30 years. If this is your very first time to listen, well, you're going to hear about one band, but specifically just the fans, why they've chosen to follow this band, why they've chosen to make it such a big part of their life, but also fans that have just found the music. There are new fans every day, new people finding this band all of the time, and it just excites me to know that there's still just a fire burning with this band, and it's just going, so who knows how much time we have left, so we are documenting these moments while we still have them. And so every show I have a fan of Dave Matthews Band to talk about their journey, their why. Why do they continue to do this? Or why did they make it part of their life? And so this episode is just like all of those. I have a guest on the show that's going to share his journey. So tell us who you are, where in the world are you, and just tell us something about you.
Well, Renee, thanks, number one, for this opportunity. My name is Shaun Carrick. I live in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I've grown up and lived near Fort Wayne for my entire life. So Indiana, I call home. But interesting thing about me or fun fact is DJ music. Specifically, my love is house music. I love rocking a dance floor with house music. I think there's nothing better. But I've also spent quite a few years DJing a local basketball team in the NBA D League or G League. When I left, that's what it was called, or what it's called now. Spent a lot of time there, so it's been a fun, cool thing that I've gotten to enjoy over the years. I think about Dave Matthews Band. It's like those dudes get those moments right, and yeah, it's not an easy task to do that. It takes a special person. It's an interesting thing, and.
Sure.
It's so cool to have this band that we love and follow and listen to on repeat. So, I was in 7th or 8th grade, had some older sisters who turned me on to MTV. And I liked everything. I think I remember my mom saying that MTV is going to rot your brain or whatever. But I also then remember this quirky dude and this song, What Would You Say? And I'm like, man, that's cool. And in that time frame,
Right.
I was in 7th or 8th grade, was kind of the first, my entrance to the Dave Matthews Band. And full disclosure, at that time in my life, it went no deeper than that one song on MTV. And I probably turned up the TV or went up to the TV and turned it up at that time every time it came on.
So what kind of music did you gravitate towards after that? Take us through 9th and 12th grade. What were you listening to?
So I think alternative, in that era, was just A lot of things that I was listening to, Green Day, probably a ton, Weezer. I remember working at Fun Spot Amusement Park. Shout out Angola, Indiana, and defunct park. But I remember working there, and a dude I was in band with, John Huber, playing Weezer in one of the game areas. I remember being into that kind of stuff. But then also I just like I had this love for live instrumental music with horns. I played
Yeah.
the trombone for like a concert band type setting, but then I played other brass instruments in marching band and won 2 state championship in the late 90s with the Angola Marching Hornets. So yeah, we collectively like listen to everything. And I also, my parents, I was thinking about driving around and just listening to music. And
Yeah.
as a young person, I experienced that with my parents, which was really, really cool. So all that, I think it all came together and I just was able to listen to a lot of different music. But then I also I think really, really, really got into rap music for a short amount of time. It was
Right. I love
dope,
that though.
man. It's so much like cool music. But I'll tell you, so, kind of those early 90s or as I graduated into the late 90s and I graduated in 2000 from high school, I was into house music, man. That sort of changed my life because, you fast forward 25 years later and I'm still into freaking house music, man. That's
Yeah.
when I started learning this style of house music and getting into watching DJs like rock dance floors.
Well, house music. How did you go from really digging house music to just being all into Dave Matthews Band?
That's another interesting just kind of fate, I guess, if you will. I met my wife. We're both working at Lowe's, and when we met, we would hang out, and these were like some of the best times, man. We were poor, and we hung out at home, and we drank beer in the backyard and had fires, and we would we would just listen to some streaming device, whatever it was at the time, and Dave would come on, and we just there was this thing, it just sort of happened, and we got married in 2014. So in October in 2014, when we got married, the guys and I walked down to You and Me by the Matthews Band. Still we're just still we're raising a kid, we're getting married, and we're trying to figure it all out and start this life of ours. And this young man in our life, who's our oldest son, Brody. And we just are hanging out, still listening to Dave. And I can't recall what brought it on, but in 2016, we went for the first time to see Dave in Noblesville at Deer Creek, which was just a life-changing event for us and our future with Dave Matthews.
Yeah.
I just know the kind of the hits, I guess, if you will. And Jessica at the time, she was digging deeper. So my wife was she's digging. And I'm just I kind of know some of the hits. And, we pull up to Deer Creek and the tailgate is epic hangs, man. Epic hang. Was not prepared at all, but was overwhelmed with how cool it was. So we show up, everything's cool.
Right.
I know 4 songs. My wife's digging over in crates. She knows a ton of songs. And so it was really, really, really cool. And we're with some really good friends, my wife's best friend. And we, by happenstance, meet and see some friends that we know. It was a father and his daughter. And we just kind of ran into them by happenstance. But we know them. And we're like, oh my gosh, we know these guys. So that's Jay and Sydney. So Jay, a really, really close friend. And now we've seen almost 20 shows together since that time. It was really cool. And one of my Renae, this memory that I am going to take with me for the rest of my life um, is like there's clouds coming in, and where we get in the venue, and like these clouds are rolling in, and like if you know Indiana, you know there can be a rainstorm. Like it happens frequently, and then the kind of the joke is like, wait a day and the weather will be different or whatever. And these clouds roll in. We're like, oh man, it's hot, it's humid. But the band started playing, and I'll never forget the clouds like rolling away. They pieced out. The clouds pieced out, and it was an epic show. It was awesome.
Can you remember anything that you were thinking like, what is happening?
I remember looking at my wife and like the crowd's going crazy. And I'm like, what? What, Jessica? What? And she's like, it's fucking Warehouse. I'm like, man. So I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know it was Warehouse. Like, I know now, but I didn't know then. And I remember that moment. And I remember looking at her eyes and like seeing how excited she was for the song to come on. And it's just like, it was just so amazing. Never, been to a lot of DJ shows, been to a lot of festivals, been to a lot of, I've seen quite a few bands, I would say, but nothing ever would prepare me for what a Matthews Band can do on the stage. I fell in love with Tim Reynolds playing the guitar in 2016. And I'm thankful. I also, while I don't really remember, I would be lying to you if I said I remember seeing Boyd. It didn't stand out to me. What stood out? What stood out was fucking Tim rocking the guitar, man. And to this day, I will joke, and if we ever see each other at a show, I will be playing the air guitar in my closest Tim Reynolds impressionation I can. I'm just going to be doing that, just so you know. But I do it all the time. But that sort of is what stood out to me the most. So from that time moving forward, we just started consuming more material. The Dave Matthews Band was more in a more constant rotation. I may be the DJ, but my wife, she has this knack of like, she can put like these playlists together that are killer. And many times multiple genres and just different music, but it's all good. And she's got a skill, man. But Dave would just become more and more in rotation. And then I think we started just kind of going, we would go every year. We saw them in 2016. We did not see them in 2017. We would do it now if we had to do it over again. The band took the summer off. Dave and Tim played really close to us in Pine Knob, and we just didn't go. We didn't know. Next time, if it happens again, we're there. So 2018, we kicked off the Deer Creek Saturday show again, only doing one night. I don't have any standout memories from that year, honestly. Second show, we just had a blast. And I do have one standout memory. Jessica and I were the freaking last people to leave the parking lot. And we were like, Renae, we were at one point, we're like, holy shit, how do we get out of this parking lot? How do we get out of here? Like, and at this point, when we were asking ourselves this, there were like 10 cars left, but we were still uncertain how to get out of here, even though probably the last 2 hours we watched everybody leave. We were just uncertain, but we figured it out. We pulled it together and figured it out, but we were the last ones to leave. And, we did meet up with our friend Jay again that year. I don't remember if Sydney was there or not. Shout out Sydney. Forgive me. And I owe you a Jello shot for not remembering if you were there or not. But, but we saw them again, and that in 2018, we made the, like, we got to get this while it's good. I think we became Warehouse members. So we were really starting to like we kind of like really started to dig in and follow the band. And like, we're like, oh, there's this like maybe not underground. There's this crowd of people that's cool that like the Dave Matthews Band. And we're like, we subscribe to this crowd. That's cool. This is a cool crowd. And so in 2018, we were like, we're going to go for 2 nights from here on out. Like when they're in our area, we got to go for 2 nights. And that 2019 kicked off hey, we're going to go 2 nights.
I feel like if you're making the trip there, if you can, it serves you well to do both nights because they do not repeat anything in those 2 nights. It's 2 nights of who knows what's going to happen. And so you can really get more bang for your buck if you're going to go see them to go to a 2-night show because you're just more likely to hear something that maybe you wanted to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally right. Totally right. I also sometimes like there seems to be maybe, I don't know, call it pace change, or there's just like, there can also be, it's the same band, but maybe a little different vibe, or maybe something a little bit more moody, or it's just 2 nights. If you can do it, do it. Renae, one thing I'd like to ask you a question. It goes off the topic of
Yes.
Dave Matthews Band, but I get into the Grateful Dead sometimes. I'm like, I know this much of like, but I know there's a lot of cool Deadheads out there that I know a few of them that are real cool, that are my buddies of mine. But I think like we have this opportunity to be like present for a thing that is this will outlast us, which is so cool. So cool.
One day someone will find this band in 100 years from now. And it's amazing that we have done a good job of documenting. We live in such a great time with technology to make sure that all of this is documented for the future, because like you said, this music will outlast us. And I'm so honored to be just in that dash of 1991 to whatever. I'm in that dash somewhere. And so I'm so happy to be there.
Yeah, me too. Me too. It's a wonderful time, and time after time when I talk to people, especially fans of Dave Matthews Band, I say, hey, what's the thing, man? What's the thing? A lot of times I hear it's like, it's the people, man. It's like this crowd of people. It's like the band provides this like, amazing sound. It's just,
Yes.
it's amazing.
Yes.
But the people are like the driving force behind how cool it is and how fun the atmosphere is. We really, I've been meaning to ask you.
Yes.
I've been thinking about this. I'll tell you our view.
Yes.
I love seeing the band close. I love being close to the band. It's so cool. I love being up there. I love watching them make music. It's so cool. But we find our happy place. My wife is at first had to grab me by my shoulder and pull me up there, but we like to be in the lawn. And we love it up there because we do dance. We move around. We enjoy the just what goes on in the crowd up there.
The benefits are of being so
prefer?
close because I can see just the fingers on the strings and how quickly they move, or just Buddy, he radiates energy that you can literally feel. And being that close, you're part of it. And that's really cool. It does provide limitations, though, to be in the pit. There is less, like your friends. Not everybody has a pit ticket, right? So like there's that part that's automatically taken away. Not that it's weird to hang out with strangers. It's not. And that's part of the culture behind this band. I can get along with anybody that's kind, right? But I have found while it's great to be on the rail and all of those, I have found if I do get pit tickets, I'm kind of on the rail in the back. And here's what I like about that. No one's pushing on you because no one's behind you. And I can kind of lean back on the It's just what I need at this point. And so I love it. There's great things about it, but I'm not willing to fight for it. That is something that I won't do. And there is a lot of that, not at every show, but there's a little pushing and pits that are overfilled, whether that's purposely or not, but it can be a lot. So I love the lawn. I'm with you. that is where there's just so much safety in the lawn because you know that you're going to have your crew with you, right? And if you've planned it accordingly, like you're all going to be there together, or maybe like 14 different crews are together, and it's such a total vibe, and you have the room to dance and to just meet new people, and it's just a different experience. There's no wrong or better or worse. There's just different experiences. And I love both of them, but I am
Yeah, the
more
crew.
than likely going to be in the lawn or in the seats. But the seats are tricky because, yes, I love having a chair on demand. That is wonderful. However, you cannot control the vibe of people around you in a reserved seat. And that is fine. It has been fine, but there have been moments where I sit next to a group of people that would rather just be anywhere else than here. And that kind of, for whatever reason, like kills my buzz because I'm there to like, I'm all in. Like,
Yeah,
this is my favorite team. Like, I'm here to cheer them. Like, I want everybody else to be.
I know. I know.
And yeah, I mean, I'm there for that. And if you're not there for that, then I feel weird. It just depends on who you're with. That, as the lyrics go, right? It all depends on who you're with and what the vibe is. And so that's a tricky answer, but that's not even an
Yeah,
answer,
let's
is it?
go.
Was that an answer? I mean, if given pit tickets with a chair in it right at the front rail, yeah, I'm down. But that's not a scenario that I can create.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We have never seen the band from the pit, but we've had seats that were really close that were really cool. But like you said, we couldn't control the vibe. So then you start talking about crews, right? And
Always.
I gotta tell you about our crew. I gotta tell you about our crew because we have a really solid crew, and this crew is from kind of all over the place, Midwest. But we just had some crew members that are going a little bit further east, but they're
Yes.
still crew members, and they're always
Right.
going to be crew members. We just were going to Dave Matthews Band shows, and then in 2023, Jessica and I pull up to. At that time, we literally were kind of hanging out on our own in the we were just enjoying like watching people and just enjoying that. And we were kind of on our own. Jay would maybe meet us for a little bit right before the show, and then we go in. And we started tailgating that year. A little bit, or we'd always been tailgating, but we started tailgating with people, and that's because our dear friends for life, Duff and Amy, by happenstance, pulled right up and around us. Like they were, we, what's so funny about this is because they just were like, we'll park in front of you, went in front of us. And Jessica and I were like, what the hell are these people going in front of us for? It's because they're the coolest people ever. And they knew we were going to tailgate for somehow. And they hung out with us. And we've been Deer Creek friends and crewmates ever since. So shout out to Duff and Amy, just great people. Seen Dave Matthews Band a billion times and love hanging out. In 2024, we met Duff and Amy at the show, and again by
Yeah.
happenstance,
Yeah. That's him.
these
Yeah.
two brothers, Josh and Mike, are right next to us and wanting to hang out, and we all just hit it off. So now there's 6 of us. Jay, he's kind of like, he comes to the party late. He's coming to the party late guy, and he leaves early. But that's just Jay. It's cool.
Gotcha.
Yeah. We're like, we kind of developed this crew, and then here in 2025, we're like, gosh, our crew needs a name. So we are the DMB Crossroads crew. Crossroads, again, the state of Indiana, which is the Crossroads state or something. So we thought that would be fitting for the group of people that we've put together, that we now have this community of folks that we see each other at a show, and we talk to each other every once in a while throughout the year. And 100% of the time, there is DMB involved in the conversation in one way or another.
Some of the people that I've met because of this band are seriously like my ride or die friends. And when I'm down, they're there. And but I know I'm not the only one with that story. Most of us do, and that's why we're on a podcast about the fans behind a band, because it has really just made such a ripple in your life.
Yeah, that's
And it's
so cool.
wild when you think about it, and also a lot wilder to explain, or for people on the outside of your life to look in and you're like, oh, what are you doing talking to this stranger? Have you had anyone in your life that just doesn't get it?
Yeah. There was a time I met a guy in a work situation, and he found out I enjoyed Dave Matthews Band, and he's like, dude, I got free tickets songs because they were 20 minutes long. And I'm like, dude. And he immediately went down like 4 pegs in pecking order at that particular time.
Yeah, that's good.
I think, I share with everybody that knows me knows that, I like the Dave Matthews Band. I love the Dave Matthews Band. So everybody kind of just is cool with it, I think.
Absolutely. And I think people can understand it when explained, like, okay, you don't have to know about the music, but what I am going to explain to you is something that you know. Bringing up sports like I did earlier, whatever your team is. And I always use the Kansas City Chiefs just because that's right here and they're really good at the moment. So I go, do you know about, Chiefs fans or whatever, whoever, Green Bay Packer fans, like whatever you are, and how they're like totally into it. Like they're in the parking lots at 6 a.m. Tailgating, doing all of the stuff. And some people travel to see this team. How is that any different than what we're doing? It's not. It's absolutely not. So when explained that way, people are like, okay, I get it. It is my team. I mean, I got a jersey made for Dave Matthews Band. I was like, this is my team. I'm like all in, wherever they are. I'm going to try to get there, and I'm going to be rooting them on.
It is our team.
Even if I'm not there, I'm probably going to be watching from afar.
Yeah. Always a kid that we're getting old when we say this, but you kids just don't understand. Like I kind of went through just for thinking about today and talking with you. I was just kind of went through some old CDs and just looking through CDs, and it's like this time capsule of a thing with some sounds on it. And number one, what these dudes have sacrificed for their entire adulthood to do day in and day out for us, and do it with passion and conviction and love is man, it's amazing. And it's something that now I feel very dutiful to pass that on. And we've been able to now witness the Dave Matthews Band with our middle son, Lennon, and our youngest son, Nash, has gone to 1 show. So Lennon's been to 2 shows. Nash has been to 1 show now. We've actually got to travel to a few different locations within proximity of where we live, but see some cool venues, see the band play like early on in the summer season, earlier than what we're used to anyway. Has been kind of cool. And we're getting to where our kids are getting a little bit older, so we're starting to think I heard maybe it was an interview or something, and I think Dave just said, we have a real strong feeling of we got to get to this while we can. We got to get to this while it's good. We got to go. And I'm starting to get that feeling like, hey man, we got to get this while we can. We got to get this while it's good. So get us farther away from our comfort zone and get to see the band elsewhere, meet more friends, and get to just enjoy and experience this just revolution in great music played by a great band that is different every night. It's so cool. I had this extreme deja vu moment at the most recent Mumford and Sons concert that we went to back in June, and it was out of this world. Is really, really, really cool. And that's one thing that music and kind of to tie back into the start. It's the Dave and the guys, and being able to do what they do day in and day in and day out, excuse me. You know,
Yeah.
gosh, what a just blessing that we are experiencing them do this. And again, you just get back to the love and just like put it all out there. And man, we are so fortunate.
Will be the past one day, but we are the lucky ones that get to be living and breathing and part of this because we are part of this. Like I said earlier, I don't even know if we were recording yet. Bands don't have this longevity without fans. Fans are what make the band be able to do multiple shows and grow into what they have now. And so it's a crazy thing. And I'm here until they hang it up, and even then I have said many times that it'll come in handy to have that nursing background. And I know so many therapists that are fans, and we're just going to start support groups because there'll be such a like, what are we doing with our time now? And when are we going to get to see our friends that we only get to see at Deer
There you
Creek?
go.
They'll just be that weird, it'll be the space between what we've known and what the future looks like. And so, no one wants to talk about it, but I'm preparing for it. I'm like, okay, we got to be ready because
Yeah.
we're not getting any younger and we're not promised tomorrow. And so just like the band says, don't burn the day, right? Let's get it in. Let's do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't burn the day. Oh my gosh. Hey, I got to put this out in the air. I've, my background, love to play music. I DJ music, hype guy. I don't care what you call it. I've often thought, like, while the music that is played before the Dave Matthews Band comes on is great freaking music, I would never want to take anybody's job. But if the band is ever looking for a dude, hit me up.
You never know what's going to happen. And I believe since the moment I decided in 2022 that I was just going to put out into the universe everything I wanted to do, even if it sounded crazy to everyone, that's okay. I'm just going to chase my dreams. And since then, like the lyrics, dream, little darling, dream, just repeated over
Yeah.
and over and over in my head that what would it hurt? What would it hurt if we just chased our dreams? It wouldn't hurt anyone. It won't hurt anyone to do that. And so say what you want to do, even if it sounds crazy to you. If that's what you want to do and it's not harming anyone or your, anything, just do it. See what happens because dreams happen all of the time. So, hey man, you never know. Let me know if you get a call. So last question, what keeps you coming back for more, which is lyrics from The Space Between?
I have to hear Break for It.
Yes.
I heard that song by Dave just during COVID
He
times,
looped right in front of everybody. He recorded the looping and I was like, whoa, you never see this shit ever. It was a big deal.
It was a big deal, but to see the full band play that song and because that's eventually when it's when we get these kids raised at the Carrick household, and it's just my wife and I. We're gonna break for it, man, and we're gonna do it. And what a great musical background to do that to. You know what I mean? So I guess that's what I'm chasing, but the opportunity to have experiences like this. I talked about all these years of just rolling into places and meeting people. That's how we met. And then to get this opportunity to tell my story about Dave Matthews Band and the Crossroads crew and my kids going to shows. Brody, my oldest, we will get him to a show. Kicking and screaming, if it's that's cool. Or if it's the DMTB, which we saw a few weeks ago. If we gotta see those dudes, like we'll get him out to one of those dude shows too. But yeah, man, so good, so good.
It makes me happy to hear that other people are loving them this much, even though I know that I like to hear it because we're just still so on fire and so ready to see what's next. And even if there's not a next, like just to still stay in this, whatever we have going on now. So thank you for being willing to share your journey, and everyone's is different and yours is really cool and it continues, right? We're going to get that oldest kid to a show and you're going to continue to see them as often as you can until
for sure.
can't, right? And so I hope that you'll come back on this show and finish out your journey that hasn't been recorded yet because you haven't done it yet.
But thank you for doing what you do, documenting history and getting, people to talk. I think the more that we all come together and we talk and we realize like, hey, yeah, okay, this guy doesn't listen to the couch tour stuff all the time, but he still loves the band. There's so many of us that love the band. And it's like, it doesn't matter how small or how tall or whatever. It's just like, let's just all come together and let's embrace this beautiful thing and embrace this time while we're here together, man. Let's go. I got to just bring up one more thing, and it goes all to this. A few years ago, a friend of mine, Jay, I mentioned before, chasing this song Crash. Jay met the woman that he's going to be marrying in just a few short weeks and brought her to the show, and Crash was played. Jessica and I we had seats really close. We bolted the first chord. We're like, oh fuck. So we bolted and then that was the first song. We spent the rest of the show in the, or it may have been the second song. I think it was the second song. But we spent the rest of our time with our buddy and his, not at that time, soon to be bride. But this year, Sonia in 2025 said, Shaun, if you can just speak to whoever you speak to get Dave to play these songs, could you speak to him? And I'm like, oh, okay, of course, Sonia, I got you. I cannot recall the name of the song, but Dave played it night one this year on Friday in the encore solo and dedicated it to a friend that he had, a good friend that loved a song that had passed. But to see you hear the passing of life, but then you see this beginning of new life of these two human beings that have come together later on in life that love each other tremendously. You can see that with the backdrop of this beautiful band that we're talking about.
Very well said. Very well said. Man. And I don't think we think about that often, but there are songs that are people's highs and lows and somewhere in between. And we're all taking it in very differently and how we need and how we do. And that's, that again, it makes me want to say, let us not forget that music is art, and art is to be interpreted by you, not by no one else. And so we all interpret it different. And I love that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Just like you said. If you're listening to this on a podcast app, just know that you can watch almost every episode on YouTube. It's simply a channel called, you'll never guess it, The Space Between Podcasts. Just go to YouTube, check it out if you want to listen, if you want to see it, whatever. There's no wrong way to do this. But if you're interested in being on this show, and again, there's no prerequisites. You don't have to have been to a show. You don't even have to have liked this band for 10 years. If you're interested in being on the show, you can reach out to me through any of the socials, of course, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, then email. Email's super easy. If you can remember my name, it's just Renae at, get ready for it, guys. This one's hard. The Space Between Podcast, dmb.com. So super easy. There's no prerequisites. So reach out to me for sure. Stay on top of your podcast apps. You've got to subscribe so you know when a new one is coming out. Write a review. Do all of the things that your teenager tells you to do. And they also do. They follow people on YouTube. They do all of those things. We need you to do that too, because when tour is over, which is soon, and I hate saying that, but when tour is over, and we know there's no fall tour because Jeff is going to be traveling with another band. What are you going to do? Well, I've got something for you to do. I have just got a stockpile of bands that have recorded their journey. And so check back. They're going to be coming out really rapidly. So get ready, keep your ear pods on you, and come back and hear another journey. But guys, until the next one, peace, love, and Dave Matthews Band.
Thanks, Renae.